Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar, where we are going to present our high school program in Malta. I'm Regina Fulop, a coordinator at Your Way Education Spain, and I'd like to welcome the NSTS team on board with me, especially Francis Tivala. Francis, can you please present the others?
Yes, I'd like to welcome everybody who is following us and introduce Icon, who is our representative, NSTS International Academy representative in Brazil. Alisa, just below me, who is the senior executive responsible for sales here in Malta. And Berzah, who is resident in Turkey with responsibilities for the Far East, being China, Japan, Korea, etc. And we also have with us Sarah, who is takes care of accommodation at host families and guardianship. So this is our team for you today.
Thank you so much, Francis. I have to mention that NSTS is our partner organization in Malta, our local organization, and we partnered up with them for this high school program in Malta. Before I give the word back to Francis, I'd like to say a couple of words about Your Way Education. So let me start my presentation. So about us, Your Way Education, we are a family-owned and family-operated company group offering study abroad programs for students and services to families in Spain and in Malta. We focus on the long run and we take good care of our students. We are an international team, and we have economies of scale in knowledge and innovation that allow us to offer higher quality in our programs and lower prices. We also identify ourselves as independent consultants and agents, and it means that we only work with the best in class in terms of schools and partners, just like NSTS in Malta. We are specialized in high school programs. We offer programs in 20 countries, both in private and public schools. And we offer accommodation options in boarding schools, but also with host families. Now, I mentioned that we are an international company. It means that we have offices across Europe, in Spain, Portugal, and Hungary. And we also have operations in Brazil and Angola, where we also recruit our students. Now, to talk a little bit about the numbers, we offer 15 to 20 countries of destination for our students. And we have around 85 to 100 students per year from 5 different nationalities. To turn to our program that we'd like to present today, our program in Malta. For this program, we partnered up with NSTS, as I mentioned before, and it means that we are dividing our services between the two of us, meaning that Your Way Education provides services for the families in their home country during the program, while NSTS provides services to the students in Malta. Francis will talk about these services later on and the details of the program. And finally, if you are interested in the program, what to do and how to start the application. But first of all, I ask you to consult with us, Your Way Education. You can do it through our website, which is yourwayeducation.es, or PT or HU, depending on the country where you are. Then we set up a personal meeting between students and families and your way education, where we can discuss the plans, the ideas, the preferences of the student regarding the program. And as a third step, we organize an interview between NSTS and the student. This interview focuses on two key points. One is to evaluate the student's English level, and the other one is to give detailed information about the program. Francis can correct me if you if you want on this point. And with this, I'd like to give you the word, Francis, to present the program in detail.
Right. Thank you very much. We are very pleased to be partners of Your Way. We've been partners for a few years, and I'm sure that this will help us consolidate ourselves better with you. But you mentioned NSTS. Who's NSTS? I think if you can put on the slides for us, let's have a nice picture. NSTS has been active in the high school and senior high school programs for the last 15 years that you have spoken of. However, it is good to see what NSTS is, and if we go through the history of NSTS Malta's International Academy, we see on this photo one of the first lessons that were given by our teachers to university students who came to study English in Malta way back in 1954. And since then, we have grown and also introduced a high school program. NSTS knows its origins at the University of Malta, and from there managed to develop an educational formation in order to take Malta internationally and receive high school students, university students, to practice their English and learn more about Malta and their formation. Malta is also a European Union member and a member of the Schengen area, and this facilitates very much the free flow of students to come and study in Malta. With regards to students from, you've mentioned Brazil, that is also very simple because they have the right to enter into Malta for 90 days. And then when they are in Malta and they're here for a full scholastic year, we will help them extend the residence permit, which is just a bureaucratic way to get them legally in Malta after the first 3 months. It is also interesting to know that our currency is the euro, same as in Portugal and in Spain, and it is around about 0.04 euro covers, a Hungarian forint covers 0.04 euro, so your friends would be able to estimate that. If we move on, we see that Malta is rich in its history, in its culture, in its lifestyle. It enjoys friendliness. We are a very hospitable people, and English is the national language. It is actually the official language because we are a bilingual country, and Maltese is also used as we speak among ourselves. It is a small country. We have, as we can see, a picture with the famous Maltese fishing vessel called the Luzzo, and we are very much fish oriented, so we have a very good fishing culture as well. On the right, we see what represents one of the churches of Malta, and on the left-hand side, we see also the first town of Malta, the first city, which was originally built by the Romans. Then we had the Arabs. Then we had the Knights of St. John. And in the Middle Ages, it was restructured into what we are seeing today. Naturally, if I've mentioned fishing and the sea, it goes without saying that Malta is blessed with beautiful beaches, as we can see in the top center picture, lovely blue sea. We have a nice warm climate, and the weather and what I'm saying just makes a distinction from the other English-speaking countries, that is in Europe, the UK and Ireland. Anytime that the students are here, they're going to see these beautiful colors which appear on the screen together with sunshine all year round. So what I have presented here is a nice melange of our cultural history, our weather, the beauty of living in Malta, and the hospitality that we give our students. Our system of education, and this is very important for our listeners, is the British system of education, which was introduced in Malta in 1947, and therefore is an English-based system, and all teaching is carried out in the English language. Naturally, as Maltese, we do speak among ourselves our own national language, but anywhere you move around, there is the British influence. In fact, we see we have the British telephone booth. Behind the Maltese flag, there is the post box as well, which is a legacy of our British links. This is also therefore helps students from the countries that are not English speaking to improve greatly their English. Now, normally we receive students who have an interest in joining an international university. And in response to this, the NSTS Malta International Academy developed its own university pathway program, which is putting together a strong course of English. And here we lead students in the first year to sit for an international qualification, being Cambridge or IELTS, together with business management. And here we cover economics, mathematics, and ICT, such that through the cooperation and partnership we have with Pearson, we encourage students to sit for the A levels to be able to gain accessibility to any international university, be it in England, in Ireland, also in the States, in Canada, and elsewhere in the world. Because these two qualifications that I have mentioned are recognized in thousands of universities worldwide. So here we focus on the 16 to 18-year-old students who would like to study and higher education at a university outside their national country. Now, that focused on the 16 to 18-year-olds, but we also partner with a local school to provide a more interesting relationship with Maltese students. And may I ask you, Regina, to get this video going, such that the viewers will have an idea of what a Maltese school is like. And listen also to the English spoken in class.
I will start it then.
So this is about 16 to 18-year-old students.
So last lesson we spoke. I'm not going to draw any of these because you cannot see them under the microscope. Okay, so So today we are going to go into disaccharides, and we all know that disaccharides...
So that gives us an idea of a Maltese school and the facilities that we offer to our senior students. I need to get back to then the slides, and we can now talk of the next slides, which cover our high school programs. So, sorry about this. We can skip this, which is the preparation. And at high school, we cover the ages from 13 up to 15, and then 16 and 17. So the ages 13 to 15 cover the years 9, 10, 11. If you permit me over here, I will explain that as the British system, there are 13 years of schooling in Malta, as against the 12 years that we find on continental Europe and other countries. This means that the final high school year is year 11, and the last 2 years are equivalent to the British sixth form in preparation for university. In secondary education, that is the years for 13, 14 and 15-year-old students, there are a number of subjects which are taught, which are the fundamentals for education in any country in the world. We have compulsory subjects which start off with English language and personality development together with other languages. Then students would be able to choose two from supplementary subjects. I will not go into the details, but these are available for people to see. At post-secondary level, that is the British sixth form, to sit for A-level examinations, then students select 2 advanced subjects, advanced level subjects, and 3 subjects at intermediate level. Here, whilst at the university pathway program, we specialize on business management, there is a wider ability over here to study languages, to study also history, philosophy, psychology, applied mathematics, and other subjects related to today's technological world. There is also a compulsory subject, which is systems of knowledge, which helps the student develop him or herself by having human experiences and venturing a bit into the world of voluntary activities. So our education system, which is important for students, is British-based, I'm repeating, and students can follow the 2-year course to sit for their A-levels if they want to go to a university, or else they may just come for a gap year, and therefore they are introducing themselves to a new culture to enrich themselves in intercultural relations and see how to live away from their home. And this can also be done for only 1 semester or 1 term, covering 3 months, as is in the British system. Let's move into the next slide. What we are presenting here is the guardianship and personal support. Now we understand, and we have the legal obligation as well, because all our students are of minor age, under 18 years of age, to care for the students and provide what is known as the pater familias approach and care for students. So here we have on the right-hand side the lady who acted as guardian, and she was responsible for all students who are here with Valletta in the background, providing their guardianship, organizing activities, caring for them legally, holding relations with the school on the students' performance, speaking to the teachers, helping the students in any way possible. Also, should there be any unfortunate illness and there needs to meet with the doctor or hospitalization, then that is also the responsibility of the guardian. We have in our registration, and we ask the parents to authorize us to care for their children, even in cases of very extreme need. I have mentioned hospitalization. If that is necessary, we will be authorized to speak on behalf of the minor student in any intervention that may be needed. The high school students, as against the university pathway students, live at Maltese host families. Now, host families is the responsibility of Sarah, who is with us over here as well. And we have a very rigorous way of selecting the host families. We place an emphasis on the education and social side of the family and encourage the student to integrate with the family. Yes, helping out in the daily chores of the family life. They are not guests. They are not there being served by the family, but they are children belonging to the family. And the parents, the host family mother, looks after them and helps them in their needs as well. This is our Maltese hospitality. And we expect students as well to offer themselves, open up, speak up, make friends. Initially, it may be difficult, but after 1 week, everybody becomes part of the family. Our families are different. We have a number of people who have now had children. Their children are married, and so they have the room in the house. But we also have young people who are bringing up a family, and they want the international environment in order to encourage their students and give them a wider perspective, a broader perspective to life. These latter people can also be working part-time, one of them, I mean, there's always one in the home, and they cope with caring for the student and the other exigencies or needs of life. As far as the university pathway students, the academy has its own residence, and the students are living all together in the academy's residence on a full board basis. Then they are either in a single room or sharing a twin room. They also organize activities. They have the caring assistance of the guardian and other people from the NSTS team. So I emphasize that all accommodation is well cared for if all students are on a full board basis. What I would like to also talk about is families and the schools and the locations of the schools. First and foremost, I would like to stress that Malta is a very small country. You are used to large countries, maybe England, maybe Ireland, and you want to know the location of the school, whether it is in Dublin or else it is in Cork or in Galway or in Limerick, anywhere around. Now, to go from Dublin to Limerick to Galway is about 200 kilometers. To go from Dublin to Cork is even further, 260 kilometers. But to go from the host family to the school is a maximum of 5 kilometers. That's all. So in Malta, the longest distance is 27 kilometers. So we practice and have a number of partner schools who have registered with NSTS, and it is our responsibility to see the best match of the students, the disposition and the discipline with the relative school. We hold the interview, as you very well said, Regina, with the student and with the parents, and there we can talk and exchange ideas such that we find the best match. Furthermore, also, I could add that, let's say, students who come for the full scholastic year. In Christmas, there are 2 weeks of holidays. In Easter, there's a week of holidays. And in November, there are 5 days of midterm. There are requests for students what to do over the 2 weeks of Easter. Of Christmas, sorry, we are flexible. If the parents ask us and authorize us to repatriate them, then we know they want to go back home and they can join their parents over the Christmas period. Otherwise, they would share Christmas festivities with the host family or at the academy's residence for the university partner students. I believe with all this, we have covered quite a lot of our high school, senior high school and university pathway program. And if there are any questions that you may wish to place to me, I'm free to address them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Francis, for all this detailed information that you have given us. One question came to my mind, actually, that I wanted to ask you, or maybe somebody from your team can answer. What extracurricular activities can students do? Because it's also one important question for students. They go to school, okay, they go to the family, live with the family, but what other activities can they do in Malta?
Right. There are 2 strands of extracurricular activities. One is the guardianship. The guardian also organizes cultural outings for the students, organizes debates. They decide that they're going to discuss a topic, and this is part of the formation, which may be, at the moment, artificial intelligence, or maybe here in Europe, migration. Let's hear them and they exchange views. So over the weekend, there are these days where they spend together. We could also, and they also organize sports. And it is very common that our student relations team organizes a 5 or 7-a-side football game or other sports. They can go to gyms. In fact, also with the high school, they organize other cultural activities, such as participating in a music group and organizing a concert, the school concert, or organizing also outings by the school as extra to the normal. So here we complement each other. Malta, as I pointed out, is very rich historically, very rich culturally. We are also rich in our modern culture, not only in our 5,000, 6,000-year-old culture with fantastic Neolithic temples, but today's culture. So there is the sword going on.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much. I think we answered you answered all the questions that usually come up with families. So thank you so much for this.
My colleagues may want to add something themselves. How do they feel? Silence?
I would add something about the leisure time. Sorry for the background noise. That there are 3 orientation days when the high school student arriving to Malta. So the guardian makes sure that the student will be introduced to the host family, as well as the students who already joined the program or joining the program within those 3 days. So Sarah is creating a WhatsApp group where everyone is included. Also, she introduces international students to each other. She's getting to know the basic hobbies also through the interview. So when the level of English is being checked, there is also a mental part, which is taking, it's a significant part of the interview. Sarah is speaking about hobbies, Sarah is speaking about fears, Sarah is speaking about subjects. So these are the things which can be taken into consideration to build up a strong relationship with the student. And then afterwards, they become friends because all of them are foreigners. And they're in Malta, and Sarah makes sure that they can support each other, make friendships, and contact her also in the group chat or in the private message. Same as the host families can contact Sarah, and if they have any questions, Sarah can respond to them. That's what I would add. Yeah.
Thank you, Anisha. You're the star. Yes, exactly. On arrival, I meet them all. They stay at campus for a couple of days, where I get to know them individually, and I see their characters. They meet each other. I become very friendly with them, so like they won't be shy to ask me for anything. I introduce them to the host families. I make sure everyone's getting on. They're getting on with each other's students. There's, as Alicia said, there's orientation, where we take them around the area. We introduce them to our school of English. Some students, if they do have a low level, they start off with a course of English. Usually it's 1 or 2 weeks, where they also get to know each other beforehand. So it's like they've known each other for 2 weeks already, where I had a couple of students this year who came earlier, where actually there were 3 who got to know each other very well. They were at the same school. So they were encouraged, you know, when you have a buddy with you, it's like a new buddy. They never knew each other from before. I introduced them. They bumped into each other while they were at campus. So obviously the friendship starts there. And other students, when they arrive, join them too, and they like guide them through certain questions they might have. We introduce them to the bus system in Malta, which is very simple. There's an app to download, and it's very simple to follow. I mean, they catch a bus, they walk 2 or 3 steps to another bus stop, and they might have to catch another bus. But usually they're quite close to the host families assigned to. I have a couple like this year. There are 3 or 4. They're just across the road from the school they are attending, which was very comfortable. But the other students who were a bit far did not grumble. They got around with the bus. They help each other in that sense. So like they feel like a family here too, apart from the host families. We meet, well, at the beginning we used to meet every week to make sure everything's okay, everything's fine. You know, they stay behind and they speak to me more, some students, and you get to know what the problem is, where, as in not a problem, but what is concerning them or what they're finding difficult to get used to. But eventually they all settle, they're all happy, especially when they make friends, or local or their own friends. So yeah, everything's fine. The host families love them, they're amazing families. They accept them as like part of the family, not as strangers in their house. So yeah, that's quite good. At the moment, I'm arranging for a student. She's from Brazil. She's here till June.
Yes,
and I am extending her visa too. So yeah.
Good. Thanks a lot. And thank you. Yes, Aliza, that was very important, because we dedicate the first 3 days to an orientation in order to create the atmosphere that Aliza and Sarah have spoken of.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Well, it's a fully fledged complex program, as I can see, so it's very assuring for the families. Thank you so much again for your participation and for sharing all this information. And I hope to see you soon or speak to you soon. And thank you for participating.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Thank everybody as well. Lovely.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.